got a chance to see the wrestling movie Queen of the Ring. Let's talk about it right now. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Thank you so much for spending time with me as we rant about movies, comic books, and television shows, as well as the occasional board game. I am your host, Frank Zenka. I'm an award-winning screenwriter, novelist, and comic book writer, as well as a filmmaker. And yeah, finally getting back on set next week. Feeling good about that. Also, I think somebody going to be taking over my books for Amazon. So if you want to jump in and get any of my books on Amazon, just go to Amazon.com, put my name in, Frank Zenka. I have my sci-fi quadrilogy called Destiny Aurora that was also made into a board game, an RPG, and a graphic novel. And then, of course, we also have my fantasy novel, The Tales of Ravenor, the Iron Witch. And I'm working on a new book right now, and I'm working on a new comic called Fairy Tales of Terror. So lots of stuff I got going on. But let's jump into Queen of the Ring. But before we do, remember to give me a like and subscribe if you can, and share this video out as well. So this is a movie that probably nobody has heard of at all. I didn't hear of it either, and I'm in the industry, so I didn't even hear it was in production. Nothing. I didn't hear anything about it. I was literally scrolling through the AMC things, and this popped up. And when I saw the cast, I was like, oh, it's a period piece. And Emily Bett Rickards is in it. Of course, everybody, not everybody, but most people know her as Felicity Smoke from Arrow. She's done, obviously, other movies besides that, other pieces besides that. But that's the thing that she's most known for. But the cast is pretty much off the chain. So this is written and directed by Ash Avildsen. Never heard of him. I have no idea what the budget was for this. But it was a period piece. So the most things that I've ever... he's done a lot of TV. He did like 8 episodes or something like that of a thing called Paradise City I've never heard of. But that's the only thing I even noticed. But he's got such a great cast. What he did was he took a whole bunch of TV actors and brought them onto this. That's what he did. There's absolutely no movie actors in this. It's all TV actors. Very, very smart. And to take a risk on Emily Bett Rickards to do this, I got to say that was ballsy. She did bulk up for this. So she does have muscles. Very, very interesting. Her legs are thicker than they were in Arrow, and she's definitely got guns. She's got probably... bigger guns than I got. So I don't know, man. But he's got Josh Lucas is in this, who's also a very good actor. I haven't seen him in a while. They even gave him the cauliflower ear. Because this is based on a true story. So, and I don't know how. I think it's more than less loose based on it, because they showed pictures of everybody at the end. So I'm sure that they had to get permission to use everybody. It's based on a book. So I would say that it's probably closer than further away from the real story. So this is the story of a person that was in the South. I think, was it Alabama? I forgot where she was from, but it was somewhere in the South. Kansas. Right, the Kansas Cyclone or something like that. So it was Kansas, which I guess is more Midwest. But she was a waitress, a single mom. Her husband or whatever, the father of the child, just bolted, and she was basically raising a child who was a baby, and she decided that she wanted to be a wrestler, and she kept going with her mom to the wrestling matches, and finally got the okay, I guess, from Josh Lucas and his son to train her. And he kept going to her diner, so of course she had a chance to talk to him. But women at the time were banned from, I guess, athletics in general, but especially for wrestling. So it was banned in California. It was banned in New York. So she had an uphill battle. So in the beginning, she was taking on men, which I found very interesting, and I'm going to talk about that in a second. But she was taking on men at carnivals. And of course, they were untrained and things to that effect, so she was able to take them down. Later on, she has a relationship with Josh Lucas's character, Billy Wolf. And, he ends up together, they ended up building this empire of women's wrestling. So they ended up getting the okay from the Wrestling Foundation to have their own league almost. So she stopped, going and doing untrained men, and then, of course, wrestling with regular females. But at this point in time, it was already being a setup. It was like how wrestling is now, where it's all basically tells a story, and they started this whole thing about telling a story and on the women's side and creating this thing. But anyway, the girls were called the Wolf Pack because his last name was Wolf. But you had Josh Lucas. You also had Walter Goggins in here, playing generally a small role. Cara Buono from Stranger Things. She plays the mom in Stranger Things. You got Deborah Ann Wall, who was just in Daredevil. I did meet her, by the way. She was a little aloof. And Marty Cove, who I just saw at MegaCon, who was also in my movie. So you got just a pile of actors. And then Marie, I was trying to find, I can't really say her last name anyway. Agranopoulos, I don't even know how to say it's Greek. But I was just looking at her because I was putting together my package for my own film, and she's from The 100, and I really liked her in The 100. And Avraganopoulos, however you say that. And I was wondering what had happened to her. She gained a little bit of weight. She has a little bit more of a round face than she had in The 100. And then Francesca Eastwood, who I think, as I saw her in a Western, a low-budget Western, and I thought her acting was only okay. She is, I believe, the daughter of Clint Eastwood, along with Scott. But her acting was not very good. Here, she did a far better job. I really actually enjoyed her acting in this one. In fact, everyone's acting was very, very good. The performances are excellent. The costumes are very good. Because remember, it's a period piece. It takes place in 1954. It takes place, I think, from the 40s all the way through the early 60s, I think. So it takes place over like a 15-year period of time. Because, let's see, the kid was a baby, and then he was 20, I think. So I guess it takes place, pretty much 18 years is what I would think. Because I think the baby was like 2. So yeah, so an 18-year gap between the beginning of this and the end. And it shows her movement up to becoming, the leader of this thing, and her battle basically with Josh Lucas. They're not really in love, but they're business partners. So she marries him purely to make sure that he won't fuck her over. And that's the basic gist of that. Because in the 50s, women really didn't have a whole lot of rights. But yeah, so she was, she named her, I don't know if this was true, I guess at the time, she was the highest paid athlete in history at that time. And a lot of her group ended up getting indoctrinated into the Wrestling Hall of Fame or whatever else by the time they were done. And I think it was actually, I don't think she got indoctrinated until 2016. Because at the end, I was thankful that they gave us, the little text about what happened to each one of them, as time went on. But yeah, it was, I thought the movie was very, very good. If you like Emily Bett Rickards or any of the cast that I mentioned, it's definitely worth seeing. If you like wrestling, if you like anything to do with period pieces, it's worth seeing. If you'd like anything to do with, true life, true stories, then go see it. I definitely suggest go seeing it because nobody even knows it exists. Nobody knows this movie exists. So, I mean, and obviously it got a wide release because I'm in Atlanta. I mean, it's not like I'm in New York or LA, you know? So I don't understand how this movie, who was a period piece, even with all of these actors, the cast alone had to be like 10 mil. Had to be. I mean, Walter Goggins, I don't know how long ago this was shot, but he was coming off, I forgot the name of the show, the sci-fi show, based on the video game. And he got, high accolades for that thing. And I know that, Marie isn't doing much. Emily Bett Rickards isn't doing much. Josh, but even Marty's coming off, Cobra Kai, and Carol Bruno's coming off Stranger Things. I know she doesn't have a big part in Stranger Things, but she's in, every episode. She played like the hot mom or something like that, and that was coming on to like the pool guy or whatever the hell it was. But anyway, so you have a recognizable cast for the most part. But even if they were making, I don't know, $250,000 each at minimum, you're still at least $5-6 million for your cast at least. So, and then you had to have a period piece. They had all the cars from the 50s. That ain't cheap. And then you had to build everybody's costume. You had to build costumes for the extras because you had extras all over the place for the carnival. And then you had them all, always. That's the other problem with doing something that's a sporting event, because you have them all in the audience. So you have to, all those people, you have to feed them. You have to dress them. And it was SAG. So you have to pay them a certain amount unless you're going to like a non-union right to work state or whatever. But yeah, and then even if they went somewhere, I didn't see whether it was shot, but even if you got a rebate, so let's say the movie was $15-16 million, let's say, and they get 20% back, but I guess all these actors will probably travel from all over the place, so those people would not be counting as locals. And if they shot in LA, there is no rebate. So even if the film was 12-13 million, you're going to get back. Let's see, that's 10% is $1 million, $2 million, maybe $3 million on a high end. So your movie is still $9 million without marketing. Not that there is any marketing for this, but let's say there is marketing. But let's even just say there isn't, and you're at $9 million. So you got to make $20 million. It made $1 million. I don't know. This is even more a head scratcher for me than the Mila Jovovich film, because at least there she's going to get international market. But that movie was $55 million, but even with a rebate, still $35 million. She still has to make $70 million. I don't know how it's going to happen either. But yeah, I don't understand how 12 million and nobody saw it. I don't know. Can you make that kind of money on the streamers? I don't know, man. That seems rough. And this movie is not like Mila Jovovich, where you're going to be able to get international things. This is an American movie. I don't know. I don't know how much international they're going to get for this, and none of the actors are really recognizable. I don't know. It's a head scratcher for me, man. I don't get it. So anyway, that's it for me. Let me know what you guys think. I do recommend the film. It is an 8 out of 10 for me. I thought, again, the performance was very good. I thought it was engaging. It didn't really slow down at all as far as I'm concerned. It kept moving because we kept jumping time. And there's so much to look at with the costumes and the hairstyles and all this other stuff. So, it's it's worth seeing as far as I'm concerned. All right. Thank you very much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. Remember to give me that like, give me that thumbs up if you can. And if you want to hit up Amazon.com for anything I've written, please do so. And I'll let you know what's going on with all my projects as I learn more. All right. Anyway, I'll talk to you soon. Have a great week. All right. Bye-bye.